What's up, everybody? This is Logan Hanks with the Living Fully Loaded podcast. I've got an awesome episode for you guys today, and this guy he's a connoisseur in the seasoning world, and he is a man of he has hunted many different animals, I guess would be the best way of putting it, and that is Mr. Ward Hegeler. And Ward, man, I appreciate you coming on the show.
Man, thank you so much for having me. I was wondering who you were talking about. I didn't think you were talking about me, but we might have to clear up some an illusion you might have gotten about me.
No, man, no. I was actually gifted. I tell you, I was gifted some of the Musket Powder, the original, the black.
Okay,
and
good.
That's kind of how I discovered y'all. And I think are y'all paired up with Blood Origins?
So we sponsor. We do some giveaways and stuff with Blood Origins.
Yeah.
I've known Robbie a while. He's such a cool guy. And I've just, the donations they get, the ones I give are nothing in comparison. Like I facilitate some stuff for giveaways and things like that, but it's better than hashtag conservation and posting a picture of your ass. So I mean, I know I'm doing more than that. So
yeah. Well, man, it's awesome. I've seen you doing work with them, and I like Robbie a lot, and I like what they're doing. So it's cool to me to see that. I'm a big proponent. People that listen to the show have probably picked up. I'm a big proponent of supporting like businesses that also share your values, especially today. Like freaking, I've said before, I used to wear Levi jeans all the time, and then found out that my money was going to like gun control, and it's like, man, so I'm huge on that. So I think it's awesome that you paired up with them and doing stuff in there. Now, before we get into all this, I told you I got the fun questions here.
Okay.
So the first one, see, we'll start with this one. The first one, you got to watch one film for 24 hours in a row. What are you watching?
Oh, I could do The Departed 24 hours in a row.
That's a great movie.
And I could do, this one's an odd one because I pick up new things. I've been watching this movie since like third grade, and I watched it the other day. I'm 36, and I was like, oh, that's why. And it's Harrison Ford's Clear and Present Danger.
Okay, I haven't watched that one in a long time.
I'm telling you,
it's something new.
And a lot of it, like I pick up new things on it, not because there's a plot twist, it's because like I'm not the brightest guy. So I'll be like, oh, like he's corrupt. Got it. And I'm like, wait, people in our government break the law? What?
So, no way.
Yeah, little things like that. So, but I've watched it recently and I was like, God, this movie's so great.
Well, I'm going to make a note of that, Clear and Present Danger.
Yeah, Harrison Ford.
Now,
so awesome.
We do need to clear the water here, though. Our politicians now are not corrupt. I mean, they don't ever...
Right, of course. Yeah.
Rock solid, man.
Right, but back then, in the early 90s when that was filmed, there was rampant corruption, so...
Yes, thankfully, they've all been cleaned out. We got a great crew with a great track record. I mean, we can see the greatness that they're doing right now.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Now, the zombie apocalypse is happening. I'm going to actually give you this one in two scenarios here.
Okay.
And I'll give you the one that I actually think we might see. But first, the zombie apocalypse has happened. What's your weapon of choice?
Great question. I've got and I might butcher this for like the LARPer dudes out there, but I've got a Daniel Defense MK18, just 5.56 short barrel rifle, suppressed red dot. And all these dorks talk about their like 300 blackout and all that stuff. But like, let's get real. You're not going to be rummaging through a Humvee finding 300 blackout ammo. You need to get NATO rounds. You want 308. You want 5.56. I think even I was never in the military, but I think you might even find some 300 Win Mag floating around in there. Stick to NATO rounds. So it would be
smart,
my Daniel Defense MK18, and I've killed so many pigs with that gun that why stop? Let's see what zombies can do. So
there you go, man. If it can penetrate a pig's skin, it could take out a rotten corpse head.
Oh, for sure. Now, someone right now is thinking to themselves like, oh, well, that's not a good pig round. Well, they're absolutely right. It's a terrible pig round. But it gives you like tap, 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 tap. He's still running, tap. So it's kind of fun. It's exciting.
There you go. Yeah, yeah, you
Yeah.
get to sling some lead,
Hmm.
and that's a solid point, man. That's you went what I hope people do, because a lot of people just think like, like I'm waiting one day when I'm going to ask that question, somebody's going to say a 45-70 lever action, and I'm like, where are you going? Like
Yeah.
you'll have like you might have 100 rounds in your house, and then when you shoot that, what are you going to just swing it like a baseball bat? So
I,
I like
when
I like the thought there.
when Walking Dead came out, I just remember like the first thing, like I was raised. My dad was a big gun guy, so like you could tell I was raised by a gun guy. I was like, where does he keep finding this 357 ammo for that sweet ass Colt Python? Like, where do you keep finding ammo for
Yeah,
this thing, man? So
yeah, that's true. Yeah. Now, and that was one I was hooked on The Walking Dead until like the 25th season, and then I was finally like, yeah, this is just too much.
yeah, I haven't seen it in a while, but I used to watch it to kill some time. Now I don't have time, so
Yeah,
yeah.
that kind of seems to, yeah, that happens.
Hmm.
All right, now I'm putting another twist because I'm curious if your answer stays the same or changes.
Oh,
All right, this is what I mean, my weird brain, which I've seen you share stuff about you being a weirdo, so I feel like we'll be all right here.
okay, we're good.
Um, I think that we're gonna see. I think we could see some freaking cyborg shit. So Terminator, that's what I liked watching when I was growing up. The
Okay.
Terminator's my jam. So the freaking Skynet has nuked us. We're down to like we're the last of the freedom fighters, but we're taking on these freaking bad to the bone T-800 cyborg army with laser rifles and flying. What's your weapon, man? What are you gonna pick?
Shoot, is ammo availability an issue?
Uh, no. I'll make
Hmm.
it a little easier.
Okay. Well, I guess, gosh, we're fighting nothing but T1000s and stuff. I guess we're just gonna have to go Barrett 50 cal with a red dot on top of like the 25 power scope. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. Because you're
that's
gonna
it.
need that power, man. I
I
don't
mean,
think.
well, let's get real. Give me a javelin and like give me a javelin and unlimited budget and someone who knows how to use it so I can know what I'm doing because all I've done is Call of Duty. But yeah, but I guess yeah, Barrett 50 cal, the semi-auto with the red dot on top of the scope and the shoulder
I
pad.
like it. I like it, man. Yeah, shoulder pad. Yeah, I like it because that's dude. I'll tell you, man. I see the little stuff on Instagram where they share like the latest robot that this place is designed, and it's
Dude,
like
the facial
jumping off
features.
stuff, and
Mm-mm.
yeah, it don't. Yeah, that one I saw, it like actually reacted. Was that the one where like somebody like pointed at it or something, and it kind of like
Yep.
even had like almost an
Nope.
offended look?
I can't even start on that. I just like that stuff keeps me up at night. I hate those things.
Dude, I've seen Terminator. I've seen iRobot. That was some iRobot looking stuff.
Yeah, that
That
was
one that
definitely
they
some
had.
iRobot. I remember. Yeah, iRobot freaked me out. And if you were to mix iRobot with what was that other Will Smith movie where it's apocalypse and there's
I Am
zombies?
Legend.
Yes, if you did I Am Robot Legend, like I couldn't. I'd walk out of the theater. I wouldn't be able to do it.
That would be like so. Like the robot horde would come out at night or whatever.
Hmm.
Isn't that how
Right?
they come
Yeah,
out at
they
night on
come out
I
at
Am
night.
Legend?
Hmm.
Yeah.
God.
See, that'd be bad because I think on I Am Legend they can only if they hear you they come after you. But if it's a freaking robot, they can probably like scan through the walls and I mean they'd find you. So yeah, I mean, dude, that's what people always talk about the zombie apocalypse. I ain't worried about the zombie
Mm-mm.
apocalypse. It's the freaking cyborgs, man. We're gonna have to
Robots.
fight some robot, and my
Robots are way
freaking
more
like you said,
realistic.
dude, they are, man. I mean, in my AR, I love them. The bullets just gonna be bouncing off of them jokers.
Oh yeah, yeah. We definitely gonna need to get a bigger boat for that one.
Yeah, yep. Well, man, that's awesome. Like I said, it's kind of just it's a fun way to kind of warm up, get into it. So I like to start off with that. So, man, give us a rundown of who is Ward, man. Tell us who you are, where you grew up, and like what got you to the place you are today.
Cool. Well, first and foremost, your intro is awesome because I did do a couple stints with corporate America, and they'd always make you do dumb crap like that and be like, if you could have lunch with a historical person. So, anyways, yours was way cooler.
I
Okay.
appreciate it.
So, thanks for having me on. I'm Ward Hegeler. I was born in '85. I'm 36. I was born in Phoenix, Arizona, which that one throws people for a loop. My mom, who's from North Dakota, was down in Texas, and my dad, who's from Illinois, was in Texas, and then they got married, moved to Phoenix for a job. That's where I was born. I went to high school there, and then I went to University of Mississippi shortly thereafter because all of our friends and family that live in Texas were at University of Mississippi at Ole Miss.
Gotcha.
So I
Yeah.
was like this weird kid from Arizona there. I don't think it really mattered where I was from. I was definitely weird. And then my family moved back to Texas when I was like 18 or 19. So I've been in Texas for a long time now. And technically we never really left. We always came back like once a month. So I hit the ground running. I've got friends here and everything. Um,
Yeah.
so it was really cool. I've lived a lot of places, and I've got hunting buddies and friends and ex-girlfriends everywhere I go. So yeah, and I went to Ole Miss, and I got out in 2008 when there was a giant recession and no one had a job. So
Great time.
my mom told me I have to go to college or I'll end up on a drilling rig. So here I am on a friggin' drilling rig in the middle of the ocean in Louisiana, and I did that for 10 years, all over. I drilled, and I moved up the ladder. I was running the rig by the end of my career, and then
Heck yeah.
they laid everybody off in 2015, and I started working for a heavy equipment company doing sales, and it was a really good job. And my girlfriend's dad owned this really cool construction business, and then she and I got married, and he was like, "Hey, man, you can come work for me and not deal with this corporate BS that I keep hearing you have to deal with."
Yeah.
And I he's such a cool guy, so I just quit and went and worked for him. I've been working for him for 4 years now, and I started Musket Powder basically the same day I started working for him. And he's an independent businessman, knows all about it, and so he, as long as it didn't interfere with my work, he let me do whatever I wanted. So it gave me a big leg up in business.
Yeah.
I already had a warehouse, already had forklifts, had all that stuff. So I had a big advantage, and we did Musket Powder, and here we are. So we do
Yeah.
construction and salt and pepper. So
That's a good blend there.
yeah,
Um,
thank you. Hang on one second. I got
uh,
my dog's freaking out. Come on, come on.
okay. 10-4.
All right, I'm back. There's a storm outside, and my dog decided she didn't want to ride the storm out
Didn't want to
outside.
be.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
sorry about that.
Gotcha. Well, all right. So kind of back up a little bit.
All right.
So Texas. Well, I'll go to this other one first.
Okay.
The oil rig life, man. I had a guy on here that used to drill and was in the oil game for a while, and he really opened my eyes to fracking and how like it's actually not this uh, horrible, environmentally terrible thing that it is portrayed so heavily in the media. Because he was talking about like basically, I guess the concrete lining and all these things, like what all the different things they do, and so drilling.
And
So tell us a little bit about that.
so fracking, oil and guns have more in common than they realize. Everyone wants to ban it, and all the people who want to ban it don't know a friggin' thing about it.
Yep.
Um, like I can tell you firsthand, like okay, oil and gas naturally is not an environmentally friendly process. Over the
Yeah.
years, unbelievably environmentally sound regulations have been put into place, and very frankly, from one outdoorsman to another, very overdue.
Yeah.
You can't like there's an old saying in the oil field. There's three recipes for an oil spill: oil, water, and sunlight. Which means dump oil overboard at night, and
Yeah.
that stopped because I can't remember the name of the organization. It would be like the health inspector. I can't remember the name of it, but the one for the ocean, they would fly that helicopter out at night and go thermal. And if they saw slicks coming off your rigs, you got a fine that could shut your rig down. So
Really.
all these, and I fully commend that. I think all that pollution stuff's terrible. Um, However,
Now hold on the
yeah,
thermal side. What are they? I guess is the oil running a pretty hot temperature? I'm assuming when it comes out
yeah,
of the ground, and that's what they pick up.
Yeah, and it's not just oil. It's just like, well, it's a drilling mud, so it's like it's called mud. It's not literally a mud, but it looks like mud, and it's there's chemicals and diesel and all kinds of stuff in it, and you don't want it getting in the ocean. And
Yeah.
there have been rigs in the past that just when they need to circulate it out, they just put that hose overboard. And I mean, this is like in the 80s, and
Yeah.
by the time the sun came up, it was gone. That current carried it, and it was gone. You blame it on any oil rig in the area. So yeah, so there's a lot of regulations on that, and I think it's really good. And then a lot of the big companies, like I worked for Chevron, and Chevron took that stuff really seriously, almost too seriously. And then state by state took it very seriously too. Um, Anything over 40 barrels is considered a spill. That might have changed. That was back when I was drilling in Pennsylvania. And
Yeah.
so I remember I was being a smartass, and I asked the guy, like the health inspector guy, I'm like, so if I leave the hose on for an hour, are we an environmental like disaster? And he did not like that question. And I was like, never mind, I'll keep my job. So
Now, how long would it take to lose? Would it take an hour to lose about 40 barrels?
um, it depends. Like, and it depends where to lose it. Like we lose barrels to the formation all the time, and we it's kind of a tough question to answer.
It just
Are
see.
you
Well, I guess I asked because it seems surprising to me that it would take that long. Like I'm just imagining. I feel like it would have taken like you could lose a lot of oil really quickly. I guess is what I
right?
would have thought.
It depends on the size of the line that's dumping. If you got a 2-inch line, you're going to be there for a long time. If you got an 8-inch line, it's gone. Um,
Yeah.
so it
Yeah.
all depends on that. But that's I never witnessed any of that stuff because that stuff was so like old school. I mean, that was 20 years ago. 20 years ago. So I mean,
Yeah.
thank God that
Yeah.
stuff's over. That was bad stuff. And then there's a lot of things like when we were drilling in New Mexico. I can't remember the exact month. Let's just say March. We had to shut down from like 11 to 4 p.m. every day because that's when this threatened prairie chicken would like mate, and everyone would get kind of like mad. And I was like, hey, it's not. First of all, we're getting paid to chill, and
Yeah.
secondly, like I don't know about you, but I like hunting and I like conservation. And let's just let this prairie chicken. Let's turn off the lights and let's set the mood and let's let these chickens, duke it out. And then in 10 years, we won't have to do this anymore because there'll be so many of them.
Yeah.
So that
It's pretty hilarious, man.
yeah, there was a lot of goofy rules, and they didn't make sense to people who had no idea like the concept of conservation. But I did a pretty good job. I feel I did a good job explaining it. Like, hey, man, if this is what it takes, and we're gonna get paid to chill, just shut up.
Yeah. Yeah. That's one of the kind of funny and sad things like in farming. We do handle a lot of chemicals, and we're all the time getting blamed for giving everybody cancer and all this stuff. And
And quail,
I
y'all,
turned it.
didn't y'all ruin quail? Because I think we also ruined
I
quail.
think so.
Yeah, okay. Farmers and oil
I,
field guys ruined quail.
yeah, and honeybees. Like we killed all the bees.
Oh
Like
man,
and the fish. Like we're killing everything. We're like a bunch of killing machines. But maybe that's what people don't need to be worried about the cyborgs. They need to be worried about us damn farmers because we're gonna take over.
right,
Our
right.
plot, the plot has been unveiled. But no, man, like there's guys just like that. We'll spray, and there will be a waterway there, and these dudes like to hunt, and I've seen them. They hammer down, they'll spray, and the stuff gets in the water. And I mean, a lot of this stuff, like it will not hurt you. Like a lot of the chemical we spray, I mean, I don't want to do it, but you could probably drink it. But like some of it'll have the like label on there, like do not get into the water. And dude, there's some guys they just don't give a crap, and I know
hmm
they like to hunt and all this, and it's like, man, you're probably killing some deer or killing some of this wildlife, and I'm with you, man. I'm a huge fan of. I mean, I like even aside from hunting, I like seeing the wildlife.
Oh yeah, for sure,
So
for sure.
like it's just I think it's good to recognize that like everything is super polarizing to the point that it's like I mean look it's no doubt I mean, you see my gun on the wall there, and I mean, we were talking earlier about firearms. Like, most people know I'm pretty dang right leaning on everything, but like
Hmm.
just because you lean right doesn't mean you can't also give a crap about the environment and stuff.
Dude, hunters were the first tree huggers, dude. Hunters were hugging trees before hippies had even tried pot. Like, it's no big
Yeah.
deal. Like, they
Yeah.
take all the credit for it. I'm like, no, Teddy Roosevelt is the reason why we have like the place where you have your drum circle, pal. Like, you need to
Yep.
take 2 steps back and read a book.
That's true, man. Teddy is the father, man, the father
Yep.
of conservation.
Yep.
Um, and we're really the ones that put our money where our mouth is, because the hunters were the
Yep.
ones that were like, let's do this. I mean, who hates taxes more than like the right leaning people? And we were
Hmm.
like, let's put some taxes on us to pay for this conservation. So I mean, yeah, dude, that's for sure. Now,
The
Texas.
irony. Go
No, go
ahead.
ahead.
The,
No,
the the
no, go on.
irony that I found in the oil field was, it was some of the best irony ever, and it was just like these people were so stupid. So those big offshore ocean rigs, those one a lot of people don't realize that those float. I mean, it's a giant boat, and
Really?
right now there's some that are planted in the ground, but then but the big drilling rigs, those move. And in full disclosure, I didn't even know that until I was working on one, and they said we're getting ready to move the rig, and I'm like, where? And a bunch of
Yeah.
tugboats came and pulled us to a new location. Um, so that being said, they were drilling up in the up in Alaska, and Shell's drilling rig, and something happened, and this must have been a huge repair because I can tell you the dollars that this thing cost. They had to tug this rig into Seattle to fix it, and so they towed it from no in middle of nowhere, Alaska, in the ocean to Seattle, and it got there at like 3 in the morning. And all these people were driving to work at like 7 a.m., just their normal commute, listening to the radio, and there's this giant drilling rig in the Seattle harbor, and these hippies just lost their mind. So what did
Oh
they
yeah.
do? They got on their petroleum-based plastic cell phones
Yep.
and tweeted all their anger. Then they got in their petroleum-based plastic kayaks and paddled out to circle the rig
Are you
because
kidding me?
they didn't want drilling in Seattle, and it wasn't even there to drill; it was just there to get repaired. But yeah, they circled it.
And they were kayaking around this thing.
Yep, yep. You know how
What
it's so dangerous.
what is their what is the mindset of these people? What goes through these people's heads? Like that's like the people that block the semis and stuff whenever they're trying to deliver like some cows or something,
Hmm.
and they block them, and it's like, dude, you're gonna block this one day, and it's gonna be some semi driver that's been like
Had
cut
it.
off in traffic 8 times on the way
Hmm.
there. Like his wife just left him, and he's like, I
Yep.
have nothing else to live for. And he's just gonna slam it into gear and smoke them.
I know. That's a yeah. You literally never know who you're talking to. I used to run my mouth a lot when I was younger, and I've learned to just do not piss people off like that. So
Yeah, yeah. Um, on now, I wrote too because now you've really intrigued me on this floating rig.
sure,
I did not know that. All right, because
yeah.
I just assumed like I've seen the ones that have the like I guess the legs coming off of them,
So
running
what that
down.
does
Which
is it's like it's called that's called a jack up rig, and those legs they start here like standing upright, and the boat pulls them to the location, and then they get to the location, and then those legs jack down into the, and it's for shallow wells, like not deep water, not that like deep stuff. And so
like
those
what kind of deep would that be?
like anywhere from 5 feet to however tall those jack stands are. I'd assume those jack stands are like 120. And so then those
Yeah,
jack stands hit the ground, and then the platform comes up.
gotcha.
Yeah.
So it still goes. See that's even deep to me, because I'm just in Tennessee here. I don't
Right.
have like
Right.
an ocean. So like 100 foot deep. Like if I'm imagining 100 feet, that's still pretty deep. But now
Yeah.
the
And
the
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 deep water ones, those ones. So I've never been on one of those, but I feel that I know enough. I've been on one in the shipyard, which is like saying you watched prom from like a webcam, and it's just not cool. But like I've been on one in the shipyard, and it how it works. There's like these. And if I screw this up, I'm so sorry. But there's like a props and propellers under there, and there's like a dude in there who kind of like controls it via satellite. And like, so if it's going a little bit to the left, like this prop kicks on. If it's going a little to the right, then this prop kicks on. It just keeps you centered. And then some of them do that, and then some of them anchor, I believe. Like they have like huge anchor chains.
The real deep
Yeah.
ones like that. That's
Yeah.
what I was wondering, if they had like multiple anchors that would drop off.
So one of my good friends
Because
did
I would imagine
he
it
was
would take
like the
multiple
joystick guy,
anchors.
and that guy made like 350 grand a year, just, and he's like no college degree, nothing. He made insane money. He said he
Well,
made insane
that's,
money.
you
I
know, I
know he
would have
made
had
good
some.
money, but whatever.
Yeah, yeah. You know that what? Hey man, I bet he did. You know, that's kind of
Oh
like
yeah.
the one of the ones that always shocked me was the air traffic controller.
Oh,
You
those
know,
guys have it made,
those guys make like, yep,
and they have a cool
yep.
job. They have to
No,
like
so
they're forced to work out, and they're forced to like hang out and play pool. Like they like look at their screen for X hours, and then they have to go chill for X hours, and like they work out and shoot
yep,
the pool and whatever.
yeah, they make like 200 grand a year, 150
Mm-hmm.
grand a year, something
Yep.
like some big cheese. Now, I mean, I don't want to. I might have, if somebody's listening that they do that job. Hey, I'm not hating on your job. Like, I don't want your job because you. I can't imagine looking at the screen and trying to decipher like all the different flight paths and stuff. Like that sounds. I mean, it sounds terrible to me, but it sounds like a job I don't want. So Texas, man. So you've been all around, but you came back to Texas, man,
Yeah.
and all your exes don't live in Texas because you said you got them all over the place.
I only have one in Texas, and I have no idea. Maybe she is. I have no idea. I haven't talked to her in like 15 years. I don't care.
Yeah. Um. Now is so Texas, dude. That's been an interesting topic for me as of late, and a lot of it's because of this fleeing from California that we're seeing, and they seem to be flooding Texas. Texas is
Yeah.
like the place for Californians. Man,
Yeah.
what's your thoughts on that? Is Texas going to go blue?
It will in our history. It's being invaded from the south, and it's being invaded from the west, and I guess it's kind of also being invaded from the north. Um, it's so bad. I work in construction, and we're subcontractors, and every day I have someone calls me, "Hey, we just moved from California, and we want to do this, this, and this." And yeah, my wife has a big "Don't California my Texas" sticker on her Yukon. It's pretty sweet.
I love it,
Um,
man. That's
yeah,
we're not seeing it to the degree like here in Tennessee. We've had a
I
lot
can
of
like
people. They moved to Nashville.
yeah. I was to say
Um,
Nashville is a hot spot.
it's like the hipster capital, man. Nashville. I never go there. I'm at is 20 miles out of Memphis, so I'm like
What
way more
what
gangster than hipster.
what town?
I'm in Munford,
Okay,
but it's
yeah.
out. It's
Hmm. I
Are you
can't say I
familiar
know
with it?
that. No, I'm not. I'm trying to be. I'm trying really hard to be. I'm not. I spent a lot of time
I
in
was
Memphis area, so
I was going to be really impressed if you said you knew Munford because this
I
is a
don't.
very small town. Well, now I'm all right. Do you know where Millington is?
So my experience in Tennessee is Memphis, like in all the areas around it, and then Jackson and Nashville. Oh, and Bristol because NASCAR,
Yeah.
which I've done that track. It's sweet. But no, I don't have a lot of Tennessee experience, unfortunately.
Well, if you've been through Memphis to Jackson, there's a good chance you have been through probably Munford, Brighton, Covington, Millington, all them places because it's kind of
Mhm.
they're pretty much towns along the highway.
Right.
So there's a good
Yeah.
chance you probably went through. Um,
Okay. Very
but
cool.
But like I said, man, we're not hipster down here. If we're anything, we're more on the you might get shot or mugged out here versus which Nashville's kind of going that way. They've had this huge crime surge, so maybe in
Yeah.
Nashville too. Tennessee's just a great safe place.
I think First 48 is no longer allowed to film in Memphis because that show about murders, because they're just like, oh my God, no one wants to come here. Um,
Oh,
yeah, Memphis is a tough spot, man.
what were you doing in Memphis?
Like when I was in Ole Miss, we'd catch flights out of Memphis, or like I had a ton of buddies that were from Memphis at Ole Miss, so we'd run up to Memphis real quick for the weekend or something. And I just wasn't really in a hurry to go back ever. It was rough. Now, like Germantown, like the nice suburbs are real nice, and there's some beautiful homes
Yeah,
and some unbelievably great people. But Memphis proper, I've done Beale Street once, and I'm good. I'm good. I've
yeah,
checked the box. I'm good.
dude. That's one of the funny things to live in here. About like I said, it takes me 30 to 40 minutes to get to Memphis, and people just assume like I probably go to Bill Street and do all these things, and it's like, dude, I try my best to never go there.
Right.
Like my wife and I'll do like a date night, and we'll go eat at one of the nicer places, kind of up there. But we're as soon as we're done eating, we're like, all right, let's get out of
Gone.
Memphis. Like, I mean, and there's I'm never there without some form of heat. Like, I'm
Hmm.
just not. So, and it does suck. Like you said, there's a lot of cool stuff in Memphis, and Germantown's super nice. But dude, I mean, you never know in Memphis, man. I joke about it, but it is an insane. I mean, it's like hell, it may be the number one most violent city in America.
I think it is between that and Chicago,
Yeah.
New
Yeah.
Orleans.
Yes, yeah. Now I can't remember Chicago, but Memphis is the same way. We have There's a murder every day. Like when you
Oh
turn the
yeah,
news on, and it would do the like breaking news, and it'd be a murder. It's like, dude, at this point,
it's
it's
not
not
even
even
breaking.
breaking news anymore. It's like normal news. Dude's dead.
Yeah, some guy got killed again. It's
Yep.
bad stuff.
Yeah. Um. So, all right, man. The construction and then the salt and pepper world, man. Like,
Okay.
give us an idea here. I want to know where musket powder was. How'd you come up with that idea? And is that the? I can hear the thunder, man. Are you in like a terrible storm right now?
It's pretty. It's getting escalated here pretty quick. Um, oh well. Um, so I was up in. Like I said, this all ties in. I said in the very beginning, I was like, "Yeah, my mom's from North Dakota, and she was down in Texas." Well, my mom's born and raised in North Dakota in this itty bitty town, and she wanted to, surprise, surprise, not be there anymore. And so there was some oil and gas stuff going on. And my grandfather worked in that North Dakota oil and gas industry. And he was like, "Yeah, these guys I work with from Texas, they say University of Texas is awesome." So my mom went to University of Texas, and all the brothers went to University of Texas. So that's how that all happened. Well, anyways, we
Yeah.
still have our family farm up there, and we lease it to some farmers. They're great folks, and but it's hunting land. Like, hello. So I go up there a lot, and I met these dudes, and they're just nuts. And we like to party and hunt, and I go up there all the time and hunt with these guys. And one of them has a dad who has a taxidermy school. And it's in Newburgh, North Dakota. It's called Dave's School of Taxidermy. And
I like it. Original.
yeah, very original. Dave had a Dave had a chef who was a student. For some reason, he wanted to learn taxidermy. No idea why. So this chef was like, "Yeah, this is this seasoning we use on our crab boat or something." And then like fast forward 10 years, I showed up, and they're like, "Yeah, we've been using this seasoning for like 10 years. It's just something we mix together." And I was like, "Okay, cool. So I'm going to bottle this if you don't, and we're gonna make a business out of it if you don't." So for 5 years, I was like, "Hey man, are you gonna do anything with that seasoning?" And like, "No, I'm not gonna do anything." 5 years goes by. I texted him. I was like, "Hey dude, I'm doing something with this, and if I ever make a lot of money, I'll cut you a check." And he was like, "Yeah, go for it." And so here we are. And so the black
Well,
label
that's
was the
awesome.
original. The black label was the original label, and then we took that and ran with it. So we added we all of our flavors. There's five. All of them are black label base with additives to make it different. So, like for example, I've got one right here. This is our gold label. So it's black, but it has a honey chipotle kick, and
Yeah.
that on pork and chicken and salmon. I mean, it's and even people one of my buddies is a ranch hand on the King Ranch down in South Texas,
Oh
and
wow. Yeah.
that dude, like that dude does so much stuff with that gold label. He puts it on like pineapple and he puts it on watermelon, and it's kind of a big Hispanic thing to put salt and pepper and stuff on fruit. And so now I do it all the time. Um, and so
Huh.
yeah,
Yeah, I've
they
never
put it.
tried it on like
Yeah,
fruit.
yeah. It's a big like in Arizona, all the Hispanics would put salt on watermelon, and now I do it because it's a heavily influenced area. So now that's kind of what I do, and people think I'm crazy. So, but in South Texas, it's totally normal. Or I live in North Texas, where people are like, "What's wrong with you?" But in South Texas, it's totally normal. So
There you go. Well,
yeah.
now, and I've seen the white label. I was looking. Now, see,
Oh,
I'm a
that's
ranch guy. I
yeah.
freaking
White's a
love
hitter.
ranch.
White's a
Yeah,
big okay.
that's the one.
I did that for my deep South and Midwestern friends because being from Arizona, I'm like a neutral party. My Southern friends like swear their life revolves around ranch, and my Midwestern
Yep.
friends swear their life revolves around ranch. So I took the black label, and then I took like different ranch seasoning recipes, and just trial and error, trial and error, trial and error until we came up with this awesome blend. And so it's like a musket powder ranch, and we have that. We sell so much of that stuff, and it is so good. And we've like the emails we get from people are crazy. Like the guy who uses it on fruit. Well, one thing we kept getting from people is everyone told us to use it as a base layer. So do white first, and then do gold, or then do red, or then do brown, and that's like all I do now. Uh, I,
Yeah.
I I always do 50-50 white, and then whatever color I feel I need to use.
Well, that's my next one because, like I said, the black is awesome. I've had the black, which, and I'm one of those guys that I like to heavily season. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, I've seen people, and I mean, here in Tennessee, we're big on our barbecue, especially around Memphis.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
it's all about barbecue, and now I season. I mean, when I do a barbecue, I season the hell out of it because that's part of the fun to me. It's like, man, I want to really coat this thing good, and all the smell, like even when it's smoking, you can smell the seasonings and stuff. Like
Mhm.
that's part of the allure to barbecuing. And because I've seen some people, they will only use like salt, and I'm like, dude, no, man, you're not doing it. You're not doing it right. And
It's
so I'm all about coating the hell out of stuff with seasoning, and so I like that black a lot because you can coat it on there pretty darn thick, and it's not, there's some you it'll overpower
mhm.
the meat, but like I haven't noticed that with the black, and that's what I'm looking forward to trying out with the white.
So, okay, I'm glad you said that because you're in luck. There's if you look on our label, it says completely cover, then add a little more. So
Yeah,
so I always encourage people to just dump it on. And I get DMs, I get emails. For some reason, I get text messages, kind of creepy sometimes, but I still love it. Of just like random customers being like, "Hey, check out these steaks we did," and I always reply back, I'm like, "More, you need more." And
yeah,
with the black label especially, careful on the hot ones because sometimes it can get hot. But the black label especially, the more you put on, the better it's going to taste. The more you put on, the thicker your crust is going to be. It's honestly, I I've not been able to make a better crust with a commercially made rub. I'm a little
yeah,
biased, but you better believe I'm out there. Every time I see a rub at the hardware store, I buy it. And the seasoning business is flooded, and that's great because it's American capitalism. But the seasoning business is heavily flooded because anybody with like $10,000 could start a seasoning business.
yeah,
So there's always new stuff, and I think it's awesome. Because at one point I'm still new stuff. I'm only like 3 years in, but I see new stuff all the time at the hardware store, and I always buy it. And sometimes you see it and sometimes you don't. So in 3 years, I've seen a lot come and go, but I've also seen like some heavy hitters that just stick around forever. And I think it's really cool. And another thing I see a lot is like I belong to I think every barbecue forum on Facebook, like every barbecue group ever, and they always show the seasoning cabinets, and I'm always like zooming in, trying to see like, okay, what's this guy using? And I see the
yeah,
same stuff every time. It's all the same heavy hitters, and I want to be one of those heavy hitters. So
yeah. I think that's cool, man. I think that's really neat, and it is. I don't know. I mean, I think that you'll definitely be there. Like you said, I mean, 3 years is still that's still, man, relatively new, but you've made a heck of an impact already in 3 years, and I mean, I think you're on to something really awesome. And
Thank you.
like, I mean, ranch. I live for ranch, so that's what this actually today before we hopped on here, because I knew when y'all first kind of got rolling, y'all really focused on the black, like it was
Mhm.
like just the black, and so today actually I was walking back in the pastures and I pulled it up and I was looking. I'm like, gotta order some of that white.
Oh, I'm gonna
Um,
send you some. Don't I got a care package with your name on it heading out, so don't worry about a thing.
well, dude, I still want to buy some from you. But
Oh, good.
I and you said something too that how do people get your phone number? I had somebody because I have an ag podcast that me and my cousin do on the side as well, and it's all about farming. And I've had somebody text me before, and I'm like, I don't know how you got my phone number. I had somebody call me, actually. I had someone call me, which is even worse. I mean, and if the guy's listening, I'm not hating on you. We had a great conversation. I appreciate you reaching out. I still have no damn clue how you got my phone number.
So I did kind of bring it upon myself. Like my first 6 months, I included a letter, not handwritten, excuse me, a typed out letter that was like basically like who we are. Thanks for your order. This is where we came from. And it said, I wish I had one with me. It said something to the effect of like, back in the 1776 era, we were, young men, 14 years old, were ripping off powder wads, and they had musket powder in their teeth. Well, and
Yeah,
because they're right, so I like gave like a quick little history lesson, and I was like, this company's to honor them who fought so bravely. They're starving, they're freezing, they're like I said, they're probably 14 years old, and now we've got 25-year-olds with safe spaces.
yeah, oh yeah,
And so I remember I like put my email and a phone number, and I'd always see where it was going. And since I've lived everywhere, and since I've like worked on rigs, and I've known people from all these towns, I could make a relationship to almost every orders town. And
yeah,
if I couldn't make a relationship, and I'd always say something like, "I hope that train doesn't wake you up in Long Beach, Mississippi, because there's a train that wakes everybody up." And people would, and like you got to make connection with the customer,
yeah,
and I love the customers, so I want to let them know like, hey, I care about you, I know about your town, and I'm gonna take some time to write about it. And
yeah, yeah,
and if I couldn't think of anything for like you know BFE Ohio, I'd be like, go Buckeyes. Like I had no idea what to say. Like Ohio State rules. like, but and so I'd get a lot of phone calls from some of the nicest people and be like, hey, we just wanted to call and let you know we love your stuff. Or hey, this showed up and the postman broke it. What can I do about? And I'm like, I'm just gonna send you another one. Don't worry about it. But then the phone calls started getting like more and more and more and more and more. So then it just stayed to my email, and I've gotten some of the greatest emails you could ever imagine. I saved a lot of them, and some of them were great, like "Hey, we love your stuff," blah blah blah. But some of them were some of the most irate, angry people, and just the most furious people, and they'd be like, and it was always the post office issue. Now we've already figured there's no corruption in the government, but
yeah,
it's just
yeah,
amazing that people who know how efficient the US government is are shocked to find out that the US government run postal service kind of sucks. And
yeah,
people would lose their minds and be like, it's been at a holding facility for like 3 days, and like just like chew me out like it's my fault, like I
yeah,
trusted your company and I wanted to trust your small business and give a small business a chance, but this is why people don't like small businesses. And I would email back like just cold, hard, polite facts. And one time I had a dude email me and he was like, uh, everyone told us to try your seasoning, um, blah, blah, blah. Oh, and people flip out about shipping. I'm like, if you got a problem with shipping, talk to your congressman. I cannot help you with that. I'm going off the rates that USPS does. Um,
yeah,
and so like Amazon kind of spoiled everybody. And I had a dude email me, and this is one of like 50 examples. And he was like, everyone told us to try your stuff. and we were really reluctant to do it because the shipping was so expensive, which is a whole nother aspect. And I'm just kind of rolling my eyes. They're like, but we tried it and there's absolutely no flavor. We couldn't taste it at all. Just going on and on and on about how it just tasted like nothing, and it like sucked the flavor out of the steak because you couldn't even taste the steak. And I was like, I hit reply all, and I was like, sir, you need to go to your nearest COVID testing facility and you need to get tested because I am 99.9% sure you have COVID. And I never heard back from them because people hate being told they're wrong. Like the customer hates being told they're wrong, absolutely hate it. And
Yeah.
so when I'd say something like, sir, it's not my fault, it's at a holding facility. I've seen this a million times. I promise you it'll be there in a few days. If it's not, we'll send you another one. And that, like, people get so irate that they were just kind of like politely corrected. And
Yeah.
they always fire back. They're like, oh, okay, I see. Because they're not going to be spoken to that way, with logic and facts. And so because that dude didn't reply back, I guarantee you, he was like, holy shit, I do have COVID. And so,
Well,
yeah,
it,
I,
the old saying, the customer is always right, is actually not true. I
it,
mean,
re-
it's just,
they need to revamp that. They also said we need to eat nothing but like refined grains. I think we need to
yes.
revamp that too.
Yes, man. Yeah, I think they had cereal above like steak
Yep,
on the
100%.
chart. Um,
I'm off the
now,
carbs. I'm off the carbs for a year, and I've lost 40 pounds, and I've not seen the inside of a gym. So, if anyone's listening,
really,
go keto.
I've
Just
got a
stop
buddy
eating.
that I think he lost 20 something pounds on
Yeah,
keto like really quick.
I did not see the
And
inside of
then
a
it,
gym.
and then if he ate, the only complaint he had, we went and ate hot wings one night, and I got him to go, and he came, and I don't even remember if it was technically keto, but he was like, I'll cheat this one night. And so he ate hot wings, and I think he had a beer. And beer, I don't think is keto. Because, no, beer's carbs, I'm pretty sure.
Well, there's only like depends which
But,
beer. Like you can get a Coors Light has like 2 carbs. You're good to go. Just have one though.
okay.
Don't have
Well, he had
25,
a,
which is a problem of mine.
yeah. Now, he might have, well, it was a light beer. But he ate something that I don't think was on his keto, and he had been on keto for a little while, and he had the screaming shits like
Yeah,
shortly after that. Like he was
yeah.
like, man, he was like, that's my only complaint. He was like, my freaking stomach was trashed after that.
My
But
only complaint
it did work.
is no fruit. I just drives me nuts. I love bananas. I love apples, and I love that stuff. But whatever, it's better than being like I feel great. So,
Yeah,
okay. So this is a good customer email. I had a dude. You've tracked a package and it says like in transit. Eh,
yeah.
the guy, and he was a Tennessean. So the guy goes, "It said it was in Memphis. It said it was in Memphis, and then it says it's in transit. But I don't live in transit. I live in Nashville." And I thought it was a friend of mine messing with me because I've had a few friends like create a fake account and just get me so riled up, and I'll text them in a group text with this stupid son of a bitch, and like they're laughing so hard because it's them. And
That's a
I
great
thought,
idea.
yeah, they do. They've every now and then I think they're still doing it to me. They do it to me a lot. They're really bored. So Ole Miss guys. So
Yeah.
I was like, I'm getting messed with. Like this is one of my friends, and this guy got like so mean, and I like texted my buddies, I'm like, dude, okay, like I need to know, is this y'all? Like joke's over, and everyone's like, swear to God, it's not me. Like this dude was so mad. He's like, I don't live in Transit, Tennessee. I live in Nashville.
Is he being serious?
He was dead
He
serious.
truly, like, he
I was like,
thought that it was
and
at
then
a place called transit.
transit because it's in transit.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's what I was like.
Wow.
Like one of my buddies messed with me. Like one of my Nashville buddies is messed with me, and it's funny as hell. But no, dead
So what
serious.
did you respond?
I
What did
was
you
like,
say to that
sir,
guy?
sir, it's in transit, like, and I like put the Webster's definition of transportation on there, and like, I was like, it's a root of the word transportation. Like, that's a total smartass. Never heard back.
Man, well, he was in Nashville. See, us out in
Right?
this area, we know. Like that, wow, that's probably normal for a Nashville person
Yeah,
to think that.
probably a
Man, no, that I
California, a
was
transplant Californian.
probably, man, that Nashville is basically our Tennessee's California. Like
Yeah,
I kind of like almost annex that part out. Now I've heard you say something on I listened to you on another show one time. It's been a little while back, but you said something that stood out to me, and
Oh
it's
shit.
because it's something that I like strong. Yes, it's something really bad that I'm about to call you out on. No. No, this is something that I like really try to live by. And it's really simple, but I think a lot of people don't do this today. And you said you just don't ever want to be fake. And social media is one of those things where I feel like you peel the layers back on these people and they're so freaking fake. And so
Unreal.
I appreciated it like hell. Just that simple statement. I'm like, it's a simple statement. You should never even have to say it, in all honesty. Like, you should never have to say, I never want to be fake. But, dude, we live in the day of fake people, especially with this social media age. And so, dude, I appreciated you saying that. And like I said, I was like, we connect there because that's something on this show I try like hell to be as real as humanly possible.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's gotten me in some trouble before. But at the end of the day, I can still go to bed. Like there are people, like it's sick, and I know this from like, I wouldn't say I had an outdoor industry. I have an outdoor industry product. I'd say I have a product that a lot of people in the outdoor space use. Like I don't have a
Yeah,
bow. I don't have a gun. I just have a product that it's marketed towards people in the outdoor space. And what people are willing to do to get a free bottle of a blended amount of kitchen cabinet seasonings is so
yeah,
twisted. Like you need a job, you need Jesus, you need a mirror to look at yourself and remind yourself every day that you're probably a really good person. You're just stuck in a bad spot.
yeah,
And like at first I used to just be like, F off, blah, blah, blah. And then there's been times where I'm like, are you really willing to do that for a bottle of like salt and pepper? Like, are you serious? And
yeah,
and that's for, like I said, a bottle of all the ingredients that are in musket powder, which are listed on the label, you have in your cabinet. So anyone could technically take the time to figure it out or get close. I can't even imagine what someone would do for a free boat. And it's just like, and the other thing is I've had companies, and I'm not knocking these people. I'm not knocking them at all. But I've had companies. I've got a healthy Instagram following, and I've had companies reach out to me and be like, "Would you be interested in like this free, dude? I don't know, and like a free China-made backpack, but you have to." And like, I'm like, "Yeah, I'll test it out. Absolutely, sure." And like, okay, we're gonna send you over like the parameters of what it is to like receive this Chinese North Korean made backpack. I'm like, getting suspicious, but you know what? Why not? And then I'll read it, and it's like all these posts a month, and like in this and in that, and I'm just like, no, dude, absolutely not. And I'm good. You can keep your back, but I'm respectful about it. I'm like, no, you know what? It's not a good fit. We're good. I appreciate
yeah,
your time and thanks for reaching out, and I am appreciative of it. And then let's just say this has never happened. Let's just say they said we're going to pay you, I don't know, $10,000 for this contract that we just pulled out. It's like, no, because then I'd be telling people that this North Korean made POS is a good pack, and
yeah,
someone might believe me and buy it, and that pack's going to fall apart on them. And I don't need. I would let me rephrase. I need 10 grand. I would love 10 grand, but like I have a job that like my head's above water kind of, and no, I'm not gonna sell my soul for 10 grand in a cheap backpack. It's just not gonna happen. That's never happened. So, but I'm just saying, yes, I try to be real because I'm not gonna
yeah.
sell myself in my what little integrity I have left over a Chinese made backpack.
Yeah. Well, that's it's kind of like when it makes me think back to the old like muscle and fitness magazines I used to get, and it'd be like this bodybuilder in the ad. You'd flip through the page and it'd be an ad for like some protein product, and it'd be some dude that he weighs like 350 pounds and he's like 5% body fatty. You can tell the dude's he probably his blood has probably more steroids than blood, and he's like,
Yeah.
this protein got me to where I am today. And it's like, come on, man, like
Well, it's a
how dumb
shame.
do you think we are?
in the outdoor industry, you see people getting in a lot of trouble. Like, for example, the Messiah, Steve Ranella, is sponsored by Vortex. And if you zoom in on his pictures or like look closely, he's got Swaro optics. And like, don't get me wrong,
Really?
I've been running Swaros. My father passed away when I was a teenager, and he had a pair of Swaros, and I inherited them. I don't need another pair of binoculars. Those binoculars
Yeah.
have been all over the world with me, killed everything with me. My wife is showing me her boobs through the window right now, and she thinks I'm not talking about it. Anyways, if you can edit that out, so uh, you don't have to.
No,
So
you
yeah,
got
I
to
mean,
tell her. You'll have to tell her later that
uh,
it's definitely making it into the episode.
it's gonna be
Tell her the
funny.
camera. She did not realize that the
Oh, the
camera was
cameras,
actually
yeah,
reversed.
that would make her stressed. Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, but I'd be if I was Vortex, I'd be pissed. Um,
Yeah,
I mean, these people are there's a lot of fakeness. I mean, don't get me wrong; those dudes have a good show, but there's a lot of anything to make a dollar, I guess.
man. You know, you Steve is like a one that I'm very conflicted about. I was a huge Ranella fan. Like
Yeah.
I've read his book. I've read several of his books, and you know, like always liked him. I think he is a great storyteller. Like there's no doubt
Oh
about it.
yeah,
Steve's a phenomenal storyteller, super smart guy.
very
But
smart.
their ties with that, you know,
Sharon,
first light and yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, the Cherim. Is it Cherim? Cherim Group?
man, you put me on the spot. I believe it's Charin.
It may be. Yeah, it's that he's a billionaire or something,
Oh
but
yeah,
he's like a
big
raging liberal.
anti-gun. Yeah, and like
Yeah,
but here's the thing though, uh, all your hard work, all your hard work for living fully loaded podcast, and I'm sure your wife's gotten pissed that you're not spending time with her and you're doing the podcast and all these things, and all of a sudden there's a piece of paper in front of you that's somewhere between 10 and 99 million, and they say sign here, and you're gonna go, okay, because I think everybody would. So I do
yeah,
give him, I do like, I realize he's human. Um, but man, that I wish I like Steve. I just wish they were more vocal about Second Amendment rights.
yeah,
That's my final
yeah. I do
statement.
too. They, you know, they Steve has never said anything that's necessarily like that's I'll give that to his credit. Like Steve has never necessarily gone up and said anything that's made me think he was a anti 2A guy. And
Yeah.
if he has, I just have not heard it. Giannis Patelis,
Oh,
the producer,
that guy's a liberal.
he is, man. You know, he was like telling people to vote for Biden. Like
Hmm.
and that's what I was like, man. And then I had somebody, they were like, man, you know, you got to cut him a little slack where he's from and stuff. I'm like, nah, I ain't got him any slack, man. I mean, you know, so I don't know, dude. I'm really torn. And I had actually even bought First Light camo. Like that was some of the camo I bought. And then all that transaction happened. I found out about it. And now I don't even like wearing it. Like it's
Yeah.
like
I'm a
ruined it
recover.
for me.
I'm a recovering Meat Eater fanboy myself. Like it's no shame, man. But I mean, it's hard not to like it. It's so much better than like, hey, I'm a rich guy from the South, and this is my buddy who's also a rich guy from the South, and we're hunting on this land that we didn't work for. We actually inherited it. And this is our TV crew, and we're on TV, and you're not because you're poor. And episode. And then
Yeah.
Steve's like, hey, I'm a guy who worked my way through college, and I just shot a scrub ass spike buck, and my show got more ratings with my scrub ass spike buck than any high fence 280-inch Texas buck from
Yep.
these rich guys. So you know what? That's awesome. Like that's
It is.
credit is
It is.
due.
You know, today I sent some buddies the video of Luke Bryan. Have you seen the video of Luke when he shoots some buck and he's in a tree stand and he turns around and he's like freaking
Is he
out. He
down?
goes, "Is
Is
he
he
down?
down?
Yeah, is he down?"
Is he down?
That video.
I
All
can't even
right.
look at it. It's so cringeworthy. And Luke's a good old boy Republican. He might be the worst country singer ever, but I like his values. And I've seen some like off stage, like he didn't know he's being filmed, like footage of him before, and he seems like a cool dude. His music is godforsaken, but I think he's okay. I think he's an okay dude. So
That's what it sucks, man. It does suck because I'm in the same boat with you, man. Like his music, I've never been a suicidal person in my life.
until
His
you listen to
music,
that,
yes, like, man, his song, the one song the song that marked him as just this dude sucks so bad is that freaking song about
corn and
rain
whiskey.
makes corn,
Yeah, we said it at the
corn
same
makes
time.
whiskey. Gosh, man, that
Oh,
song, man, and I think like because it even like insults me
yeah,
as
it
a
insults
farmer. I'm
you.
like this
And not just a
stupid
farmer.
ass
You're
song.
Tennessee. You're a Tennessee moonshiner, dude. Like that's insulting.
Yeah, dude, that it killed me that freaking song. But I mean, I'm with you. I know he's solid to the right, man, and but what pissed me off, I guess I shouldn't say this. What made me irritated about that video is, and again, I don't know. Maybe Luke truly was that freaking fired up. I hope he was. Like, I
I
hope
hope
he
he
was
was.
that super stoked. Like, just like a giddy little girl. I hope that was truly his reaction. But what annoys me, and it's the outdoor channel crap in general, like you said, it'll be some dude. He's like a rich guy. He's hunting on a reserve or something, and he's killed 150, 160, 70-inch bucks. And he shoots another 150, 160, and he's like, oh my God, like freaking out. And I'm like, dude, you are not that excited. You have killed 100 of these bucks. Like, you're just doing this crap for show. And that's what I can't stand. It all goes back to the being fake thing.
There was a dude. I can't think of his name. He's on Instagram, and I think he has a podcast. But he like kills this buck. Okay, and it was like a big deal. It like hit all the Instagram like shit posting pages. And he's like got his phone. He's like, oh my god, oh my god. And he's like having this big freak out, and then he like stops to like hit like record. So he like turns out of character to hit record, and he like accidentally posted that, and it was so bad. It was so bad. Oh, it was awful. But yeah, he that didn't go very well for him. This is fake, man. This is. I
Yeah.
get it that it's gonna like, drive more, but God dang, why don't you bring more people to you with like some intellect, or why don't you bring some more people to you by just not being fake? Like, oh man, this guy's
Yeah.
real. I like him. Not
Yeah.
always entertaining, but never full of shit.
Yeah. That that's the one show that I always really got into aside from Meat Eater was Red Arrow. Did you ever watch it?
I don't think so. Gosh dang,
Man,
that's
you need to.
familiar.
It's Kip Campbell. Have you heard of him?
Yeah, I like swore off all outdoor shows. I love the guy from the Midwest who has his wife's the cameraman, and he's just slaying 170-inch whitetails, and they put the camera on him. And he's like Ricky Bobby. He's like the car ran good. The deer came in, and it's just like, dude,
Yeah.
you will
Yeah.
never make it. You will never make it in TV, but God dang, are you a stone cold killer? And I'm so proud of you. Like, subscribe. So those are
Yep.
the people I
Yeah.
like.
YouTube gives those people a platform.
A
I will say
fighting
YouTube,
chance. Hell yeah.
dude, that YouTube has some really good hunting shows. I'll give them that, man. There's some, and they're really well done. But no, you need to look up Red Arrow,
Red
like,
Arrow. I can do that.
because Kip is one. He does all of his own advertisements, like for the show. So like if he's sponsored by, like there was one, and it's always they're real stupid. Like one of them was something, it might have been like Ozonics. And he was like, this deletes your scent better than Hillary Clinton deletes her emails. Like, it's like a kind of what what his thing said. And I'll
Turn
never
up the
forget one
heat.
of them. Dude, oh yeah. And another one, he's like up in a deer stand. It's like a two-man stand, and his wife is up there with him. And she's in like a black dress. And she's like, why am I dressed like this? And he's like, it's tree stand and chill, baby. Like, like it,
Nice.
and kind of,
All
so
right, I'm
it's
into
real,
this now.
dude. And he's awesome because he'll be hunting. And I mean, I target mature bucks. So like, I love to see somebody kill a big buck. But Kip will be hunting at a place. Like, he goes to the ranches and he'll hunt these places. But like a couple days into it, he'll be like, all right, we ain't seen nothing next buck that comes through, I'm smoking him. And it'll be like a 4 point, and he'll smoke the hell out of this thing. And he's like, got
Drilled.
him. Like,
Nice.
like,
Heck yeah.
so that's what I appreciate with Red Arrow. It's got that very real element.
I like that. I'm gonna definitely look that up. I watch on YouTube. Um, I love waterfowl hunt. I love it. So
Yeah,
I watched all of Dive Bomb Industries videos. Those are
I haven't
great.
seen that.
Oh,
I'll make a
they're
note of that one.
yeah, Dive Bomb. They're so well done. I like John Mulligan, Arrow Wild.
Yeah.
Actually, no, he just changed the name. It's Primal Divide. Primal Divide. I love that show. I might have a cameo or two on it. I don't know. Um, Trying to think. I watch Mark Peterson. He always goes all over the world. It's pretty cool. Um, yeah, I love all the YouTube stuff. My wife like does not like. We got. I'm like. I feel like my grandpa, but we got a smart TV, and when I found out that I can watch YouTube videos on like this big TV,
Oh,
it
it's the
was.
best. It's
I haven't.
Yep.
It took me like a week to get off the couch. It was so cool. I love it.
It's the best thing ever. That's what my wife, her and my kids, they'll watch like their Disney Plus or something like that.
Mhm.
But if I take over the TV, it's pretty much going on YouTube. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can watch. There's anything. It's like I can watch anything I want to. I can watch a dude shoot stuff with a 50 cal, like
Yep.
something stupid. Like if I wanted to see a guy shoot, like I want to see a guy put a propane tank inside a deep freeze and shoot it from a mile away. There's probably a video of that on there.
Can't confirm.
Like
Seen
it.
it. And then
That's the best.
home repairs. I know. I didn't grow up on a farm, but every one of my friends who did is so handy. So I'm sure you're good to go. But like home ownership, considering I lived out of my suitcase for 10 years chasing rigs around, home ownership is rough on me. And but
Yeah.
I've got all the tools, and I learned how to fix shit on the rigs. So every time something breaks in my house, I YouTube how to fix it, and it's
Yep.
fixed. Couple of
Yeah.
beers and some choice language, it's fixed. So
It is, man. That you would be shocked on the farm. We've had stuff break down, and I will immediately YouTube it. Now I will say sometimes it gets pretty specific, and it's not on YouTube, and I'm always
right.
like, I need to film this. I need to film this and put it on there because there's going to be like 7 people in the next 15 years that are going to
Yeah.
need to see this video.
How to install a footprint gas pedal on a Case 960. I don't
Yeah.
know my tractors very well. I apologize. I just kind of exposed myself there.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little offended because I do run John Deere, so the
Okay,
case
good, good.
kind of offended me a little bit.
My bad, my bad. No, I know. At least I didn't say New Holland, right, or Kubota.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's like the Ford. Yeah, no, New Holland is like the Ford of the tractor world. So yeah, that would have been bad. But
Offensive.
um, so now the on your seasoning and everything. What's coming up next, man? What do you got coming down the pipeline with Musket Powder? Where do you see it in the next 5 years?
Um, hmm. What can I disclose? I think there might be something pretty big coming up. If there's anything I've learned in this industry, it is anything that can quickly come up can just disappear.
Yeah,
Um, I've had a couple of disappointing emails that everything's going, and then all of a sudden it's off. I am in talks with some people right now, and we might be making a big expansion. Um, Other than that, though, if nothing happens and it's just me, which is also great, I've got 5 flavors ready to go, and I'll be probably maintaining those 5 flavors, but I got to focus more on how to. I've got a YouTube channel on YouTube, it's just Musket Powder Official. There are some cooking videos on there. They took a little bit of a breather because I had a baby. But once I think we're going to start, I've got another baby that could technically my wife uh, could go into labor any minute now. She's very due. Uh, our baby's due opening day turkey season, but the doctor says it's probably going to come earlier. Um,
well, that's good.
yeah. So yeah. Other than that, though, I'll probably be doing a lot of filming. So I
Yeah,
got one of my buddies is really into cinematography, so we're going to hopefully pay him a very very agreeable price and get going on that.
Awesome, man. Well, that sounds
Yeah.
cool. Like I said, I'm excited to try the other flavors, because I can verify the black is very good. So I have
Who
high
gave it to you?
expectations, dude. I was trying to think of that today. I don't remember who gave it to me. I don't
It's
even
a,
remember where it was, but I all I knew is that in the cabinet I have Musket Powder Black, and I've used it on some steaks and I've used it on cheeseburgers. I haven't ventured out, which that's typically I cook steak and cheeseburgers. Like that's my wife cooks
you're
all
you're good to
most of the dinners.
you're good to go, man. Like steak and cheeseburgers. Like what else do you need? Sound like there's a
Yes.
problem there. Like I'm moving in.
Yeah, no, no, no. And on the steaks, man, I liked it a lot for that crust. Like you said, you can coat that thing down and you get that good steak on there or the good crust on it. And it is it kind of deceives you because you will almost think that it's burnt, but then it's like perfect. Like it was really good with that kind of crustiness. Like if someone likes that good kind of, it's almost like a restaurant steak is what I would describe it more
Thank
as.
you. Can I give
Yeah.
you a little cooking tip to elevate your crust game?
Yes.
Okay, so how do you cook your steaks? Do you just throw them on the grill like a normal American, or do you get fancy like
Yes,
reverse
man. I get
sear,
it.
sous vide, or any of that?
Dude, I'm just a typical like
Tennessee boy.
meathead man here. I just get it
Got it.
really hot, chunk it on there, a couple minutes, flip it over. That's my. I don't get
Okay.
too elaborate with it.
It's a little bit easier if you're doing like the reverse sear or the sous vide, but you can do it this way as well, the way you do it as well. But right before you pull it, like I'm talking 2 minutes before you pull it, get a little bowl and with some mayonnaise in there and a barbecue brush and brush the steak down and then re-season it with musket powder and then flip it. And then while that's cooking, brush the other side down, hit it with musket powder, count to about 60 seconds, flip it again, and that mayonnaise and the brown sugar and the coffee that's in the musket powder all like caramelizes and just like it's like tree bark.
Oh,
It's so
well,
good.
well, and I've actually used mayonnaise to keep like salmon from sticking to the grill.
Right.
So I wanted to point that out because somebody's listening and it's probably like mayonnaise on a steak, like but
Yeah,
you won't actually taste the mayonnaise.
you will not taste. It's a binder. It's all it is. A binder. It's a
Yeah,
non like if you use mustard, you'd taste it and you'd ruin the steak. Like the mayonnaise is a binder. So
yeah. I'll
and
try it, man.
and people that want to hate on that, like, are this is where people are going to get learnt up real quick. Like a very popular breakfast in this country is steak and eggs. Like who doesn't like steak and eggs? Well, mayonnaise is egg whites. So
Yeah,
you're good. You'll
true,
be fine.
true.
The flavors have
Yeah,
complemented each other for like 500 years. So
I'll try it because it doesn't require me to take them off of the grill and then go into the house and put them into another pan to like
right,
cook them more. Like
right.
that's I had a guy one time because I had a pellet grill which it has shit the bed on me. So now I'm back to a good old
Which pellet
fashioned
grill?
Weber.
Which pellet grill?
It was a Pit Boss, man. I had bought the Pit Boss Austin XL, and it's like it'll lose its heat, and then all of a
Yeah,
sudden it'll start having the pellets like overflowing up out of there, and the temperature will start dropping. It's done that to me a couple times, so now I've wrote it off. It is dead to me. So I'm back to my little Weber, the round Weber grill the things are like
I,
unbeatable.
I've got two. They're outstanding.
I love them. But I had a guy when I was looking at a pellet grill that was like, "Man, you know how to cook the best steak?" And I'm like, "What's that?" And he's like, "You put it on the pellet grill, cook it for this amount of time, and then take it off of the pellet grill and put it onto your charcoal grill and sear it." And I'm like, "I don't want to have two damn grills going. You mean I got to have a pellet grill going and then also get charcoal going? Like that defeats the whole
That's
purpose
a
of having this grill."
that's a ton of work, man.
Yeah, that's way too much. I mean,
I've got
so
I've got
I'll
the
try
pellet
that.
grill. I've got the pellet grill. I've got every kind of grill. But my pellet grill is a Pits and Spits, and it's made in Houston by
Oh,
American.
pissing what?
No, pit like barbecue pit, Pits and
Oh,
Spits.
I thought
Outs.
you said
No,
pissing
no,
pits or something, and I'm like,
no.
I need one of these.
And as I'm sure you've seen on my social media pages, I beat the shit out of everything. I'm rough on everything. And that grill has been with me for like 3 years now. I've maybe cleaned it once. I think I put a cover on it one time. and it still runs like a champ. I had a Traeger for like a month, and that thing was such a piece of shit, and it died on me twice. And I drug it back into Costco. They'll take anything back, and I drug it back into Costco, and it's still hot. And I was like, I bought this here, and it's a piece of shit, and I'm taking it back. And they're like, but, and I was like, no buts, I'm done. So
Yeah.
literally no buts,
Well,
no
that
Boston butts.
yeah. So then Traeger is not the holy grail
That's
of
trash.
pellet grills.
It's made out of tinfoil and Chinese newspapers.
Yeah. That you know what you made me think of with the Costco reference? Are you familiar with Rodney Carrington?
Yeah, yeah, the old country comedian. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, there he had an old joke in there where he was talking about Walmart, and he was like, Walmart is great. He was like, you can take anything back. He said, you could buy diapers, and your kids could shit in them, and you could take them back to Walmart, and they'd take them back. Like they'd be like, well, them diapers already got shit in them. Well, you got to take them back. And he's like, well, all right, we'll take them back. And he's like, they will take them back.
yeah, it's probably true. That is probably true. I was
So
so mad at Costco. But I showed, I had the receipt. I was like, I bought this 4 months ago. This thing's junk, or 3 months ago, whatever.
I didn't even know
Junk.
they sold Traeger at Costco.
Yeah, I guess, and they had like the special Costco edition, which wasn't very special. It's special for breaking. If you're into like fixing
Yeah.
grills, it's the grill you want.
So pits and butts, is that what you
No, no,
said
no,
yours is
no.
called?
Pits and Spits,
Pit.
Spitts.
Okay. I
Yeah,
still like piss and
yeah,
spits better. They need to change their names.
yeah, they're not for the faint of heart when it comes to price, but it's worth every penny. Like I said, I've done heinous things to that grill, and it still works just fine.
Well, that's what I feel like I kind of experienced because the Pit Boss was pretty cheap. I mean, that's why I was like, yeah, I'll try it out. And I've kind of I think I got what I paid for
Right.
with that one.
Yeah,
So,
my Traeger was a little bit cheaper than the Pits and Spits. I did not get what I paid for. So that thing is junk.
yeah, I think the Pit Boss was like $390. So, I mean, it
Yeah,
was a lot cheaper than even the Traegers. I think the cheap one I saw of it was like $800 or something. Now,
yeah.
there's a pretty cool one called, man, it's got it almost looks like Rectech. It's got like,
Oh,
looks like
yeah, that's
bull
good.
horns on there.
Yeah, that's a good grill. That one, I like it and everything, but it looks like one of those shit haulers, one of those 18-wheelers that hauls cows. It looks like a
It
shit
does,
hauler. Yeah, it looks like a shit hauler and a barbecue like got drunk at a concert and just hooked up and had a baby, and it's that
which
grill,
sounds awesome.
which doesn't suck. And
Yeah,
that's a great grill. I've got friends who have it. That's also a good one for sure. And it was between Pits and Spits and the Rectech, but the owner of
yeah.
Pits and Spits reached out to me, and we kind of made a little agreement with barbecue industry, Musket Powder, blah blah blah. And he and I become good friends. And I mean his products are so awesome. So he's also another young dude just trying to make it. So I
Well,
fully
I'm gonna look
support
them
him.
up. I wrote it down. I'm definitely gonna look them up because I told my wife I want to get a good one. Now, why do you like pellet grills? We've kind of gotten down this rabbit
So
hole here a little bit.
that's fine. I've got the old school smoker made out of oil filled pipe. I've got two of those. They're actually Coast Guard buoys. Weber used to be a Coast Guard buoy company, and then they started cutting the buoys in half and making grills. I've
Awesome.
got I've got two of those. I've got an egg, and then I've got like a brick grill in my backyard, um, and I can use them all. But when I'm strapped for time, which is very frequent, I just walk outside and I press a button and I put it on and I walk away. I have absolutely destroyed dinner parties because I fucked up with one of my smokers, and I've absolutely nailed dinner parties because I just crushed it with my smokers. And I don't have time for that anymore. I've earned my stripes. I have like embarrassed myself and I've put myself on a pedestal, and I know I can do it if I had to. So I just rather push a button and walk away. I'm 36 years old.
Yeah,
I have nothing to prove to anybody. I do not care. I just want to prove that I'm a good husband, a good dad. So I'm going to press the button and walk back inside and pay attention to my wife and my kid, because instead of babysit a fire. Now, I
yeah,
love stick burning. I love a good old fashioned smoker. And if my Saturdays were wide open, I'd be sitting out there drinking low carb beer and doing it. But that doesn't exist. So I just push a button.
yeah. Well, I like that too because that's what man. I've had the dude that's like, oh yeah, your gay grill out there. You know, you
Oh, for
got your
sure.
if the power goes out, you can't even use your grill, and like charcoal's what real
Pretty
men
funny.
use. And I'm always like, well, now I'm actually using real wood. Like I'm like, you're just using like a processed chunk of like burnt shit. And I'm like, I'm actually using actual wood here.
Yeah. No, and it's got like I've made fun of myself while making fun of my friends, but it's a time saver, and time is
It
money.
is.
I'd push
It
the
is.
button and I'd come into my. This used to be my Musket Powder office. It's not anymore, but I used to come in here and work, 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 work while that button was pushed. So if you have the time to do it, please do it. But I don't. So
Yeah. Yeah. So tell me a little bit, man, as we wrap up here. You've got how old's your well, you have one kid right now and one on the
yep,
way. Tell us a
that's
little bit
right.
about your family.
So I've got a sweet and beautiful wife, and she works at the construction company with me. Um, and so that's really interesting. We spend a lot of time together. Uh, and then she's 9 months pregnant. I mean, she is at any minute. Like my phone is not on silent. I'm just I'm like that's how close we are.
Yeah.
And then I've got a little girl named Madeline who was she's like I don't know a year and 4 months old, and she's a tank. Like she's just a monster. And she's pretty fun. She was my first that I know of, and yeah, so we're just building a little family. We kind of got a late
Yeah.
start. We're both in our 30s, but better late than never. And
Yeah.
we're just knocking them out and not wasting any time.
What do you have? What's on the way?
A little girl named Virginia.
Nice.
Yeah,
So that so you think you'll try again to try to have a boy, or are you gonna be?
that's a dice roll, man. Because the way my life's worked out, I've just had women telling me what to do my whole life, and why not finish it off with three girls? So I'd love to
Yeah.
have a
Just
son, or I'd get a son that just like wouldn't be interested in hunting, like just not at all.
yeah.
Like good kid, great kid, but just like no, I'm cool. Have fun in Arkansas, duck hunting. I'll be, you know, doing something that's not hunting. It's like God, that would just kill me. So it's like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Because one of those little
Yeah.
girls will come hunting with me. That's a fact. Hopefully both, but at least one of them will. And I don't know. I mean, we'll see.
Man, I I have twins. I got boy girl twins, and they're
Oh, that's awesome.
4 years old. So that's what we were like, knocked it out in one go. We got a boy and a girl, and if we have another one now, it was most likely not planned. But I mean, it wouldn't like be the end of the world. I love being a dad. Like that's
I
one of
do
the
too.
best things ever, man. Like, um, but I think dudes do them a disservice because every guy is like, man, I want a son. I want a son. And dude, there's nothing. I mean, I love my son. Like he's a mini me. Like if I took him out and I set some coyote traps a while back, and he was like fashioning some sticks to the side, and was like essentially he was like, I'm setting some beaver traps, and I'm like, all right, man, good job,
Nice.
looks good. Like, um, stuff like that is really cool. I mean, and he he wants. I mean, he is my mini me. But my little girl, dude, there's like nothing that can melt a dude like his little girl. And
Yep.
so I think men need a daughter. Like that's
Oh yeah.
it's nothing like it.
And it's funny because word around the water cooler's gotten out that I'm just have like all these girls just invading my life, and I've gotten a lot of text messages and like various like forms of communication. It's like heard you have another daughter, like someone I haven't heard from in like 15 years. Like heard you have another daughter, you deserve it. Like because I was I was a little bit wilder in my younger days in
Yeah.
Oxford, Mississippi, but yeah, I do deserve it. So it's all good. If that's what I deserve, then yeah, heck, give me another one. Why not? A very
Yeah.
good friend of mine
Yeah,
told
man.
me when he found out I was having a little girl, he said, "Man, I've got three little girls, and if I could afford 10, I'd do it." And I said, "That's good.
Yeah.
That's pretty accurate."
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm a year and a half in with my one girl, and I was like, when my wife said our next one is a little girl, I was like, "That's awesome. I can't wait." So
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
just feel
And
I
you
don't
will,
have a
but
son. It's just like I feel, and you might be able to weigh in on this, but like I just be disappointed in my son all the time. Like Like my friends have sons, and like they'll like get scared about something and cry. And I'm just like, like, no, granted, when I was 3 years old, I get scared of something and cry, but of course, I
Yeah.
don't have that kind of perspective. So
Man, that is we are in the stage right now where my son is like scared of so much stuff. And I'm like, just stop being scared. Like it's
right,
like driving me crazy that he's so scared. And my little girl, for instance, today we were out here. Now this is my little girl is she's tough as nails and she's scared of nothing. But now she's like all girl. She loves pink, like she has to wear pink clothes all the time. Well, I got a little workout thing outside and I had a bar and I put it down and she was doing like these flips where she'd get on the bar and flip over on the bar. And my son was like, well, I want to try it. And I was like, all right, up here. And he like flipped over. Well, it like hurt his side and he started crying. And Emerson, my little girl, she's doing them and she's got like a red mark on her leg and
right,
like a red mark here. And she's like, it's kind of red, but I'm going to do it again. And I'm like, all right. And so,
yeah,
yeah, I mean, there is definitely that, but then it is like, he's got his little toy guns and he likes to do drawing, like we'll draw at each other and do like pretend stuff like that. I mean, my daughter has like no interest in doing that kind of stuff. So I mean, it's a good balance. I mean, but he is definitely in the scared stage right now, and we let him watch Rugrats because I like to show him the old cartoons versus the new
classics.
crap, and yep. And so I was hoping he would take away like being like Tommy, who's brave, and
Mhm.
instead it's almost like he gravitated to Chucky, and I'm like, Chucky's the guy you don't want to be.
Chucky
Like
sucks,
Chucky's the
dude.
worst. He does.
Chucky's dad was a square. Like, come on, this is a
Yes,
house of
he is.
alphas.
Yep. Yep.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I called my mom and I like kind of made a comment about how one of my friend's kids was being a little bitch, and my mom was like, "You were one of the biggest bitches ever." So, and you turned out okay, and I was like, "All right, fair enough." So,
There you go. Well, that's what I mean. Yeah, there. I have to remind myself. I think as men, it's easy to like. We kind of we. It's easy to forget that they are little kids. Like
right,
they'll do something that to me, I'm like, that was so dumb. Why would you do that? That is so dumb. And then I'm like, well, they probably did that because they're four. Like that. Like they're
right. They're also
not
4 years
quite.
old.
Yes. Yeah, like I was trying to teach him to hit like off of a tee, and I'll be like telling him how to hit, and he was doing this weird thing with his bat, and I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? And then I'm like, well, probably because he doesn't know what he's doing.
Probably
Like
because he's
it's
4.
yes. So it's a learning game as you go.
I hear you.
Um, so awesome, man. Well, we didn't get into the hunting a lot. Like I said, you've done a ton of hunting. I won't keep you forever. What kind of tell us here as we close? What are some cool hunts you got planned for the year?
Man, it's gonna be tough. My little girl's coming on opening day turkey, so I'm gonna try to sneak out. I didn't make any spring plans. Um, I did just buy a brand new duck blind. I got all the material and got a guy to weld it together for me because I'm the worst welder ever, and it's terrible. It's embarrassing. And and since we kill nothing but widgeons, and widgeons are called cotton. A lot of people call them cotton tops or cotton heads. I called the new duck blind the cotton gin. And so
Nice, the
we'll
cotton
be duck
gin.
hunting a lot. And I've got my dog is getting better and better and better. She's still a pup, but she's gonna be like this is gonna be her one of her prime seasons coming up. So that's gonna be big. I'll be probably in North Dakota goose hunting. If there's something badass coming in on camera, I'll be whitetail hunting. But other than that, like I'm not gonna go sit in a deer stand for nothing and get yelled at. So I'm gonna like pick my
Yeah.
battles. My wife knows. Like a couple seasons ago, I killed a monster, and I almost like got divorced over it. So like my wife knows. Like if I'm going hunting, there's something big. Um,
Yeah.
and so yeah. But other than that, um, man, all my hunting trips are like Wednesday, I get a phone call. What are you doing? Thursday, I'm on a plane and I'm heading somewhere. I put in for. I'm probably gonna get drawn for Wyoming archery elk because I've got a ton of bonus points. Um,
Yeah.
Secretly, I hope I don't. So if Wyoming Game and Fish is listening, that'd be great. Um, because I'm just slammed this fall. But yeah, nothing crazy. I don't have like any. I like no checks have been written out to like for like a trip or something like that. But I'm always doing something fun. Um,
I hear you, man. I
yeah,
hear you.
I'm
Now,
always hopping on a plane last minute and hauling ass somewhere with with a shotgun or a bow or something. I love to waterfowl hunt.
yeah.
So.
Now, what kind of deer did you kill? Tell us a little about
Uh,
this monster real quick.
so I killed this one, two, it's three drop tines. Some people say five because the drop tine split and then the split. And
Nice. Wow,
yeah,
man. Yeah.
so I bow hunted him. We watched him on camera for 3 years, and then I bow hunted him all season. And on the absolute last day of buck season in Texas, I grabbed a 300 Win Mag, and I climbed up in a rifle blind, and I sat there, and that son of a bitch walked right past my bow blind. And I was like, "You gotta be kidding me!" And I shouldered up and cracked him. And I'm so glad I rifle shot him because I was shaking so hard that I would have missed with my bow, like no questions asked.
Yeah.
If I was shaking that hard with a Win Mag, God, with a bow, like it would have been.
Yeah.
I'm man enough to admit that I would have missed bigger than
Yeah.
shit. So yeah, he was a beast.
Yeah.
I never put a tape on him, but he was 6.5 years old minimum. Had just drop tines everywhere. I mean, I don't know. I'd say he's probably high 140s, but like I said, he's got three, sometimes five drop tines. So, and he's older than
Yeah.
hell. He's in the what do you call it, the living room. My wife has a tendency to shoot monsters, um, so we'll
Really,
see what
she
her.
hunts?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, not oh yeah. Like what she does is she puts her coffee down. She's like, that one. I'm like, God dang it, yes. And like it's so easy for her.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I'm out there with trail cameras and food, planting food plots and all that stuff, and then she shows up and kills the biggest thing that walks out. So
She reaps the benefits, man.
yes, but it's fun. I enjoy it. So
Well, that's yeah, that's pretty wild, man. I have a thing for drop tines. Like I hunted a buck several years ago that he had like 3 drop tines, and he had a couple that were nearly probably 5 or 6 inches long, and
yeah,
it's something wicked, man. They just look wicked with some drop tines. Um, and I was the same way. I killed a really nice buck a few years ago, and I don't think I ever even bow hunted him, just because I was like, I will miss
yep,
this deer with my bow. So like I was actually even surprised I hit him with my rifle. Like I was
yeah,
like, because
yeah.
I was again so shaken.
I got busted 2 years ago in Kansas. I was up in a tree with my bow, and I like kind of just got a little bit of ADD, and I kind of like lost focus, and then I refocused, and then I looked down, and this buck that we had on camera, he was such a monster. He was absolutely huge. Was just staring at me like this, like, "Got you, dude. Gotcha." And he just took off, like blew and took off, and I couldn't even get my bow. Nothing. It was so humiliating, and I'm not over that. And the other day, the
I
guy
don't.
that I was hunting with, he sent me a trail camera picture of that deer from like 2 years ago, just to make sure I didn't forget. Like, hope you're having a shitty
Yeah.
day. Here you go. So he likes
Yeah.
to send me
You'll
that all the
never
time.
forget that,
Yeah.
man. You never forget that. Like that's how
I
I still am haunted by the
I zoned out.
misses or missed
Yeah.
opportunities.
I zoned out for maybe 30 seconds, and I was like, "Wait, dude, get back in the game." And then he was staring at me.
Staring at you. Yeah.
Awful. It was so awful.
That's that's the game, man. That's the name of the game. That's why we like doing it so much because
And
it's
every
you.
tough guy told me what I was doing wrong. So yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah, oh yeah. I didn't know I had so many amazing bow hunter friends. So
yeah, man. Hindsight is it's a real awesome thing.
oh
That's what I
yeah,
always said.
it's really it
Um,
works out in your benefit when you want it to.
exactly, exactly. Well, dude, it has been fun talking to you. I won't keep you. I know you've been flashed once. You may be getting summoned again, so I won't mess you up. um, yeah, I thought I caught a glimpse or two there. No,
Yeah, I've
but
been checking.
no, man, it's been fun, man. I've really enjoyed having you on the show, and I'm looking forward to, like I said, trying out the other seasonings there. And I really encourage people to go try it. And where can they go and
So
follow you, and where can they get the stuff?
our website is musketpowder.com. Very simple. You can find us on Instagram. We're at Musket Powder Official. Um, yeah, I mean, just come give us a shot. We're a small American company that was started as a joke, but no one's really laughing anymore because we're just busier than hell.
Yeah,
And it's the real deal now. I mean, it's serious. Like we're in. It's a business. And I keep saying we. I've also developed schizophrenia with this job because there's no one else in this room. Like it's just me. I say we to sound like official, but we're not. And but there it is right there. I'm not. I'm not. It's just
I
me,
do the
and
same.
I'm giving it hell. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
appreciate
Is
all
it
the support.
absolutely, man? And like I said, it's something I wanted to have you on, showcase your. I like to what I said from the beginning, man. Let people get to know you, and I feel like they're like, man, I like this guy. I can relate to him. He's a weirdo just like me, so I wanna support this guy, and
I
so it
appreciate that.
encourages people to
Oh
go check
yeah,
out the product, man.
yeah. I'm as goofy gets. I've been told my whole life I'm going to be nothing but a failure, and I've that's not the case. I'm not going to say like I'm not doing this podcast for my private jet, but like I'm not a failure at all. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I
it
think the
feels it
weird
feels good.
folks,
It
man.
feels
That's
good to
what makes
win.
life spicy.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah, we're all the same. This world would be pretty boring. So yeah, I've been accused of being weird. Like people say, can't spell awkward without Ward. Um, it's yeah, be yourself, man.
yep, I'm with you. Well, and on your note there, I mean, I don't think you've been awkward on here.
Okay,
But I
well,
mean,
that's a
again,
first.
yeah, no, I mean, you hadn't been awkward. Now that is a valid point. I never thought about you can't spell awkward without Ward, but you that might be the name of this episode. That's what we ought to call
There we go.
it.
My sister made me koozies for my 30th birthday that said you can't spell awkward without Ward, and she made so many of them, like handed them out to random people. And I've seen them at like local bars and stuff. Like, oh shit, that's me. That was my 30th birthday. So,
That would be awesome. That would be
yeah,
awesome. Well, dude, thank you. And again, man, it's been a blast talking to you, and I hope that you'll have awesome success. I'm excited for you. Welcome a new baby girl into the world, and
thank you.
that's an awesome blessing. And so, everybody, I hope y'all have enjoyed hearing his story. And like I said, encourage you. He's doing a lot of awesome stuff, and like I said, supports our values. So go support him. And guys, if you watch this on YouTube, I ask that you leave us or hit the like button, hit subscribe, comment, let us know what you thought. If you listen to it, then please leave us a review and share it with your friends. We appreciate y'all.